Hi, I'm Ryan Donnelly, Director of Service at Treadmill Doctor, and in this video what we're going to be doing is the base assembly of the True ES900 treadmill. Basically building up the pedestal up to the point that it's going to take a console. We have done the decline foot in a previous video. I went ahead and did that step first because this treadmill is so much easier to handle and put the decline foot on if the pedestal is not already built. Now this is in complete opposition to what are in the manufacturer's instructions, but I'm sure they would agree this is an easier way to do things. The first step on the base installation here is to remove the hood. It just has one Phillips head screw there. And second thing we need to do is, from the packing material, find a couple of pieces of cardboard cutouts here, place them on each straddle cover, and now we're ready to look at our hardware pack. The first step in building the pedestal up is to attach each upright of the pedestal at its hinge point, and we use these short 3/8 button head Allens with split washers. Now I'm going to show you where these go. Okay, as my cameraman was moving back over, I went ahead and screwed the first upright onto the mounting eyelet on this close side, on the right side, user right of the treadmill. And you can see down here just below the ES900 badge where that black bolt is. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And now we can rest these, and they're not going to go anywhere. That's why we have these cardboard cutouts. It'll help keep these uprights still and not damage the straddle covers of the treadmill. Next, we're going to look at raising these uprights and tying them together. Okay. These are the bolts we're going to use to secure the front of the uprights. They are clearly the longest bolts in here, and they also get this 3/8 split washer. There's 4 of these. I'll show you where they go. So what we've done is we've just flipped this up, and I'm going to show you how I did it on this far one here. And then these bolts go right in through this plastic covering here and secure into the upright. Now on this close side, you do have the wires that feed down from the top, so be careful, okay? They just need to land loosely in the belly pan of the treadmill. So basically, here's what it looks like. This is still loose here from the last step, and that's going to set in here. And then the bolts go in the side of the treadmill. As I said, here lands, and in the side of the treadmill, and they screw right in. These things are really good about aligning themselves. But until we get the center portion of the pedestal attached and the bolt started, please don't tighten anything up. We're going to take a look at this center portion next. Okay, so here's our center section for our pedestal, and the wires are already run, and underneath here all of our connections that connect here. So what we need to do is we can look under here. There's 2 bolts here, 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 and here. Okay, and there's weld nuts on top of these, so these bolts will thread in from the bottom of these mounts here, and there's no need to mess with any nuts or things like that. So what we'll do is this just sets right down on top. Pretty easy. Okay. Now we're going to look at the hardware and show you which bolts attach the center portion of this pedestal. I've gone ahead and gathered up these three, rather 8 bolts here, and they are Allen's button heads, and they do have Loctite on them. As a result, they do not require that we use any washers. They have not, but that's not to say that if they have Loctite on them, they won't have washers, because sometimes they do. So don't think that just because you see blue Loctite on some bolts here that you won't need. But in this case, this is all we've got. So I'm going to show you where these go. Okay, we've got our 8 mounting bolts here. And as you can see, we've changed our perspective, and now we're looking dead at what the user would see if they were on the treadmill. So I'm going to show you where these go, and we're going to move a little closer and then kind of get an upward look of this. And as you can see, there's a lot of wires in here and they're not connected. Please be careful that none of these have been sandwiched, all right? This is probably like the #1 assembly screw up, is that when the pedestal is assembled on any treadmill, that a wire can get mashed, crimped, cut, pinched. So please be aware. This is fitting very flush, you can see, and just made some noise there. As a result, I thread the first bolt and it's going to go in quite easy. If you're having trouble threading these bolts, then something's wrong, okay? Something is not quite right. And that's another reason why we don't tighten this thing until the end, because it gives you the extra play to thread these, and of course not cross thread them. So there's no cross threading. And I'm using this very deep cup holder to hold my hardware. It's kind of hard for me to get. But as you can see, all these are threading in with just, it's not even difficult, okay? Next, what we're going to want to do is start connecting our cables. So these are for our pistol grip controls, and then we have a series of wires here that can only be plugged in one way. So, and they're all marked. All right, so these are very easy. They have made this extremely easy to put together for somebody in their home. So I'm going to get these hooked up, and then we'll look at the next step shortly.